Heroic definitely needed that break. Dominant performance from Complexity in map number 1. We head into Mirage, and Mirage is one of these maps where Complexity have always traditionally looked good. You've got to keep an eye on BlameF. He's going to be dominating those opening battles on both the T side and the CT side. Mirage could be a nightmare scenario for Heroic, but it's the semi-finals here at DreamHack Open Summer Europe, and we've got ourselves a pretty good matchup on paper, but it's time for Heroic to arrive to the matchup.
Yeah, look, with how good Complexity were looking on that first map, I feel like I could have been in-game leading for them and they still would have won Dinko. I could have been calling throw decoy as A rush B. They probably still would have out-aimed everyone. Let's see if it's going to be the same story on Mirage, because Complexity are starting on the T side and they are all lining themselves up around this B bomb site with a couple of smokes at the ready.
Well, Config diving out the window. A lot of pressure being put on towards Stown. He's down to 8 HP already. Big problem for him. He's going to get the boost up from Nico. And Nico is going to be looking over the top of the smoke down into the B bomb side. But Complexity, so far, so good. They've taken the B site by storm, and they're finding these important kills. It's BlameF with the P250 through the smoke. Config taking down Borup as well. He's looking for more, and that's the second into the kitchen. It's Stown and Katie and the last two remaining players, and they have absolutely no way into this. Heroic have just been backhanded in the pistol round, and it's Complexity starting things off as they mean to go on here in the second map.
Yeah, the desk was saying that first map felt almost oppressive at times, and that's a pretty good word to sum up this pistol round as well. Almost felt unplayable there. Complexity just land instant headshots. It obviously helped that Heroic didn't have anyone on the B site to begin with. They stacked more towards mid, more towards A. Cadian gets a kill at the end and saves the Kevlar, so he can buy a FAMAS if he wants to. That's the first shot from BlameF, though I barely even see that man over the smoke, but BlameF has got some great vision. Config's landed some great shots in kitchen, and Heroic have to try and win on the force buy here in the second round, up against 3 AKs of Complexity. Heroic have got a couple of nades in there. They've got the scout for Cadian as well as pistols on the rest of their players. Early mid control being gathered by the T side. AK staying at range, and Poison nearly gets that lineup, but won't be landing the shots just yet.
Oh, Oboe taking a good bit of damage from that nade. That's a good start for Heroic. Not too far off here, Testis. A few pixels to the left side, he would have found it. Also, did you see the man who invented the pixel actually passed away a couple of days ago, unfortunately.
Oh.
So, shout out to that guy. Very important work being done. We're all here for that reason. And what? Shot being dealt on towards Stown, 14 HP left alone, and Stown is going to find a little bit more. The Deagle headshot onto Config, a second as well. Poison going down. It's BlameF and Rush and Stown. This is filthy. We have seen so many moments with the Deagles in this series so far, and Stown delivers another. It's BlameF alone into the 1 versus 2. Where is he going to go with this one? The in-game leader. Freya talked about his carry potential with those big shoulders, and we'll see if he can work it out here in the 1 versus 2. 26 seconds, another kill picked up, and he taps the bomb, trying to pull Borup into the open, trying to put pressure onto the young Dane. As BlameF looks to try and take him down, he'll look into the kitchen. 7 HP, BlameF realizes just one fraction of a bullet touching him is enough to take him out of the server. And so he gets the bomb planted. Oh, opportunity. He can't afford to take these straight-up duels. He needs the headshot, and it's not going to happen. Bort with the body shot. It's going to be Complexity losing this one. Heroic, a huge step up from Stown. 3 deadly D kills as they enter the B bomb site. And that's exactly what Heroic needed after getting destroyed in the pistol round.
Yeah, great to see specifically Stown stepping up as well, because he was at the bottom of the board on Vertigo. He was only able to get 6 kills throughout that map. He had a pretty quiet first map, but we know that he's meant to be one of the standouts on this Heroic squad. We've heard a lot of Danish guys talk about Stown as being one of the next big things to come out of Denmark. And if he wants to prove that, he's got to deliver in these sorts of games. So good to see him starting to show up. We've got the Hero AK by Dinko, the CIS Classic, the one AK in the hands of BlameF to try and win this round. Unfortunately, when you take a nade to the face like that, you can't really do a whole lot. That AK has been lost, and I think now Complexity are probably just going to focus on trying to get that AK back into their hands.
They have got that AK now. And Complexity are going to gather themselves outside of this A-bomb site. Gideon close by in the ramp, though. They don't check him. You can have a field day up against these pistols and unarmored opponents. I feel like that's exactly what's about to happen here. Although he has changed position up. He's going to go under the wood. As the smoke dissipates, he hears the footsteps. The charge coming in. Is Gideon going to be tested? The first kill onto Rush. The follow-up as well. Gideon with the 3-man spray down. Taking him all away. A lot of money being picked up for Gideon. And Nico getting the last 2 frags as well. It's Heroic 2-1 up. We head into the next round here with Complexity still not really having the cash. So we'll probably see another half buy here from them. Or a full buy. Okay, this is interesting. I mean, you're going to get 4 AKs out. I suppose it does make sense. It's just not a very good buy in comparison to what they could have had if they go into the next round. But I suppose at this point they realize the buy from Heroic is probably a bit of a bonus round. They still have a couple of SMGs in play. So if Complexity are going to pull it off, it would be here and now, I suppose.
Ooh, Gideon is out of there. BlameF with that 1 dig we were talking about goes for the early fight. They don't send in the AKs first, they just send in BlameF. He goes carefree with the Desert Eagle, and now he's got an MP9 to work with if he really wants to. I wouldn't be surprised to see him stick with the dig, though. Currently has the MP9 in hands. It might depend on what sort of range he expects the fights to be at. Either way, Heroic might have to do something here to get themselves back into this round. They're sticking around at mid. You can see 3 CTs still focused on mid, even though they lost that first fight. And there goes Nico for the initial kill. Tasses with a good spray down. Tries the transfer. Second headshot delivered. And now Nico's got this kill from the back lines as well. It's all on Rush. A really good mid hold here from Heroic. A good read from Heroic as well, because previously I was talking about how much Complexity like to go for mid control on these sorts of rounds. So even when there are only 4 CTs left, they really heavily focus on fighting off this mid presence, and the crossfires are really well lined up.
Yeah, that's great stuff from Heroic. I think they have to get off to this good start coming into Mirage. I almost feel like it's a win condition for them. And so far, so good. I mean, other than the pistol round, it's been the Heroic show. In Complexity, they might fall into this pit where they never really get the economy going. Molotov is going to force Config forward. Oh, Stown. He actually takes damage on that one. Good shot landed from Config. And Stown will think better of re-peeking. He knows you can't really do that against a lot of the players here at Complexity. You can't go for those jump shots. You are going to lose your life. Take the warning shot and hide away. In Complexity, they've got Oboe down here in towards middle, peering into the connector. The bomb from T-spawn heading its way over to the A-bomb site to gather up with Rush, who is walking out of ramp. But again, it's going to be very difficult for Complexity to work anything out here. 1 kill from Oboe up to the window. That is Nico falling victim to it. And now the push from Complexity comes through. It's a multi-pronged approach into the A site via connector, jungle, and the ramp. And Borup, well, he's got to get this first kill. And Rush on his lonesome will crumble. Gideon also assisting. Brilliant stuff from Heroic, really recovering this round. BlameF going down with a bomb. It's just Poison and Oboe left alone in the world, fighting against 4. And Oboe, well, he's still alive with a deagle. He'll manage 1, but now just Poison, yet to get a kill. He could change that, but it's not going to happen. Borup plays well from under the wood, a 4K, and delivers a 4th round for Heroic.
Yeah, I think a combination of a little bit of hesitance shown from Complexity and just Heroic using some good utility to deny some of those early pushes. There was a molly put down in connector, which seemed to stop Complexity in their tracks. BlameF was kind of alone at the ramp there when that flash came in towards him. So Heroic do a pretty good job at dealing with the digs this time out. Now they have to deal with the AKs, though. Full rifles out for Complexity in this round. And rather than focusing on mid, they're focusing on this A side of the map early. It looked like they're about to pull the trigger, but the Molotov will slow them down. Gideon continuing to hold this wide angle with the AWP. but he's not going to get given a fight, at least not yet. Complexity backing on up. So as soon as they get denied that early A aggression, they keep it slow, they keep it calm. They've still got plenty of nades left to play with. And BlameF is leading the charge back into the B apartments. But it looks like the rest of Complexity might go for this mid control. And again, Heroic have still got quite a few players hanging around at mid. And this is something that Complexity are going to have to overcome. Heroic are already sticking with a fair few players here. Katie and Zorp is also in connector. So let's see if Complexity are able to deny this if they go for this mid control.
Yeah, that's the if, but it looks like it's almost certainty, and it is exactly what is coming through. Nico taking away Poison's life at the beginning of the round. Oboe will shut down Gideon in reply. And we've got a 4 versus 4 with 40 seconds still intact. Complexity, they've got the mid control they were looking for. Now where else do they go with this? There has been a bit of a push through the apartments from Stown. He's more aggressive. He's got the AWP. He's a very good operator. This should be a shot for him. BlameF connected with and shut down. 3 versus 3. Nico with an important kill up towards Palace. Rush has been caught a couple of times heading in towards this A bomb start unsuspecting. He does lose his life yet again, but Config cutting right through the head of Nico. But 9 seconds, bomb on the floor. There's not enough time here. The round has been lost for Complexity. 5-1 for Heroic. It feels like Complexity are a little bit lost right now, Alex.
Yeah, they're focusing so heavily again on getting this mid control, but then they have such few nades left when they actually need to push a site. And you see there, Nico is not even worried about ramp or palace. He stands up on the stairs, exposed to both those angles, because he's confident that all the remaining Complexity players are positioned at mid. I think at this point, Complexity might be better served just falling back on something like an execute, maybe a standard A play, maybe something in towards B. It's not going to be a gun round for them in this one, though. Or if it is, it won't be an ideal gun round. And I think they've realized they are better off just going for the half bite. Tech 9 out for BlameF. This is the sort of round where you can go a bit carefree into one of the bomb sites. Config's got a Mac 10 as well. And plenty of nades here for Complexity, specifically the flashbangs looking strong. I think they are aware that they're now against that double AWP setup after seeing Stown Sniper in the previous one. So maybe that's part of the reason why they've got so many flashes here as they all start to move in towards B. Stown is ready on this angle. Oh, it seems like he's aware there are players nearby. The nade should do damage, and BlameF is burning down to low health. He has to fall back, and Heroic seem to have stopped that early aggression from Complexity.
Yeah, that's really good from Heroic. I mean, coming into this, the goal for Complexity into a round like this is to create as much chaos as possible so that these pistols can find some important kills. Maybe one, you pluck a loose thread and you start to unravel the defense. But now Complexity, they fall away and they go back. Now, this is something I feel like a lot of matchmaking teams, if you're watching at home right now and you don't know how to deal with a B rush and it gets stopped immediately, don't commit, don't run in. Sit back for a little minute. Go back when they don't have the utility. It may work out like this, but at least you're giving yourself a chance as Testis takes down 3 players. It's 1 kill from BlameF replying on the Tech 9, and Gideon with the itchy grenade shutting him down as well. 6-1 for Heroic. A very big turnaround in comparison to that Vertigo performance, where they just got absolutely destroyed. So I'm very happy to see Complexity not being as dominant. I mean, from a neutral standpoint, it's good to see Heroic step up because we want to see a good matchup in the semi-final. And Heroic are delivering finally here on Nuke. Or Nuke? Oh. That's a weird looking Nuke. Mirage. I'm just so used to casting Nuke, Alex.
Oh, I think Cadian wanted to throw the molly to try and disrupt that mid smoke, but he got blocked by his teammate, and it didn't end up happening for him. This time around, Complexity aren't as heavily focused on mid. Yes, they've got 2 players here. Yes, they've got the mid control, but they also have players on the A side of things. Cadian, though, ready for the fight, but he misses the mark on the second time of asking. Borip able to get 1 kill, but he's low on health in CT, and Poison just takes the fight onto short. It's all action all the time in this round, but it's all into the hands of BlameF. He's got himself the 1 kill, but the bomb is long gone, dropped all the way over on the A site. So even though BlameF has plenty of time to work with, he's still going to get both of these kills because that bomb is firmly in the hands of the CTs.
Yeah, 4 minutes still left, though, for him to try and recover this bomb. And if there is a player to pull off a clutch like this, it's going to be BlimmF. He spots the first. The second player's low, but they peak together. BlimmF took a while to take down Nico, and that gives a millisecond extra for Borup to peek out from CT spawn, and he is going to take that opportunity. 7-1 complexity. The money's not good here either, so it should be 8 rounds for Heroic. That'll be confirming at least the 1-round lead going into the second half. And if you're Heroic, you're going to be so happy with this turnaround. You've been absolutely dominated over on Vertigo. The only round complexity you've been able to win so far on Mirage is the pistol round. And they're going to try for this B rush again. Straight through the smokes they go. The Molotov gotten rid of, but now a lot of damage being done by the nade. Testis again getting another kill. Kadian stepping up. Config finally finding 1 kill back, but it's Nico diving through the smoke, finding a lineup, but only gets 1 kill from it. BlimmF and Config have a chance for a bomb plant, but winning this round is still going to be excruciatingly painfully difficult. And it's going to be 1 kill for Config. Kadian going down. Down and Borup left alone, and now it's just BlimmF. Again, another clutch. Can he win it this time? They're away from each other, so he has got a series of 1 versus 1 fights, and now just a 1 versus 1 up against the Opera of Stown. He's coming back in from the market area. BlimmF crosses on by. Not quite sure if Stown had seen that cross. He seemed to be scoped in through the window. But BlimmF certainly not aware that Stown is close by. But now he moves forward. He's going to find him surely. But he hops through the window. Now they've traded positions. Oh no, ships in the night. They go right past each other. And Stown's not going to think that this is a possibility. BlimmF in the market area right now. Bomb is taken away. Stown, he's got to tap that eventually. He hasn't got a kit in his back. There is one available in the side, but he has to run over and pick it up. And what? USP straight to the dome of BlimmF. And that's the way you win a 1 versus 1. Stown picking up the kit, pulling out the sidearm, and a headshot right between the eyes.
BlimmF looked a little concerned there when Stown didn't tap the bomb so soon. I think he was maybe assuming that Stown was in a different position. He assumed that Stown wasn't near that site, but man, trying to get the drop on your opponent while you think he's going to tap the bomb and Stown's just ready for him. Unfortunate for BlimmF, but I do wonder if he's better off just waiting there, waiting for that fake defuse to come in. Because I think you've got a pretty good angle for the bomb there from Kitchen. It can be a bit awkward at times, but either way, it's Heroic who hold on. Stown with a great reaction shot. And Heroic are still going strong here with an 8-1 lead. It is a bye now for Complexity, so a chance for them to try and finally get their first gun round on the board. Orp out for Poison, AKs for the rest of the players. And remember, Heroic's money is still so susceptible to being broken. With 1 player surviving in that last round especially, Heroic have had to reinvest on all their players here. So if Complexity can win this round, they could break the bank, and then they could put themselves in a pretty good position. And a slower start to this round from Complexity, I think, is needed. They've been losing a fair few of the early fights in these recent rounds, so this time they slow things down. We're under a minute left in the round, and we still haven't had any fights.
Yeah, one of these slower approach rounds. But Complexity about to send the majority of the players into the A bomb site. Smoke out for top connector. Good bit of utility still available for Heroic, though. So that is going to slow things down and put pressure onto the Complexity side. The fuse is getting shorter, Alex. The time is ticking away. And Nico. Okay, the spray away. He gets 1. There's a player around the corner as well. Config somehow getting a double in that position. He delivers a chance to Complexity, and they might just get onto the site. BlimmF getting the bomb plant through. Rush is crossed on over, and the smoke severing the information flow of Testis. He has to move forward, and over the top of the stairs, he sprays wildly, but connects enough shots to take down Poison through the box. It's a 2 versus 2 retake. And Rush, this has to be the kill for him. Sound on the edge of the boxes. There's the kill from Rush. Just Testis left alone. And he's trying his best, but it's not looking good. It looks like it's a done deal. And BlimmF secures victory. Another round for Complexity other than the pistol. It's been a long time coming, but they have to turn it into consecutive success. It can't be a one and done. But this play from Config, the transfer was brilliant. And the rest of the squad stepping up. Rush having these impact kills. And we generally talk about Rush again being that more supportive element, the player you don't look to have these huge step-ups individually, Alex. But so far in the semi-final, he's had a load of impact.
And now Poison's getting involved with the AWP as well. Early kill goes his way. And as I was saying earlier, Heroic's money is in trouble. Tassus and Borup get Deegs into this round. At least Cadian and Stown both have rifles, and you can see Cadian's looking to make the most of that with the Palace push. Rush is watching for it, and Cadian decides just to back away. He's already got a fair bit of information on this early aggression. So he wants to stay in Palace while his teammates rotate and stack the B site. Definitely not a bad idea. Although Cadian's actually moved down towards the A site itself. I'm not sure that was a necessary reposition from Cadian. I feel like if he stays in Palace, he might have a better chance of just denying the bomb and buying time, because that's what he has to do. But now he's rotating all the way away from A. So this is what the call was from Heroic. It was a full-on gamble stack towards the B site. And Cadian has just rotated at the wrong time. Complexity will walk onto the A site, and they will be delighted to realize that it is completely clear for the taking. This will be a free round for Complexity, and Heroic will probably just be stuck saving.
Yeah, that's... You can see, though, how many of these rounds have been not so much close, but how many players Heroic have hemorrhaged in their round wins. Because as soon as they lose one round, they're set back to what is a terrible buy. And now they're left with no other option but to save after losing one player. They can't even attempt a retake. There's too much risk involved, and the likelihood of winning the retake is very slim. So they have to save what they've got going into this next round. And Complexity, this is where they can start to claw their way back in. They may have had a nightmare start here in Mirage where they're down 8-1, but the fact that they have dropped a few players from Heroic every single time when it went to the round losses, it has put them in a position where they can pick this up. And the crowd's going wild, Alex. The synergy in the crowd, they all clap at the same time. It is unbelievable.
They're all looking very stiff, Dinko. I don't know what we've done to the crowd. I don't know if you've done anything. Have you slipped something into their drinks or something?
That's a wild accusation, Alex.
No, I'm just wondering.
No, I think they just need a little bit of WD-40. They don't look so human. So maybe they're robots. And while we get into things, it's Heroic with the M4A4 in the hands of Cadian, FMAS'd out for Stown. And the rest of the squad, well, just pistols. And Config has taken early damage. He's down to 49. But Complexity shouldn't be worried too much. It comes down to this one player, Cadian. Can he find anything? Getting aggressive. Poison looking the wrong way. That's the Orpicon, but luckily, BlameF able to trade. And if you're Poison that, you're just so annoyed. You have those scenarios where you've just looked away, you're walking away with your back turned, and you get pushed through ramp.
Just the USP for Nico, considering he is completely alone on this A site. I, for one, don't fancy his chances of holding against the 4 AKs that are about to push him. If he even gets one kill, that would be probably an overachievement at this point. In comes the execute into the A-bomb site, and Nico is ready and waiting. Molotov about to land on his position as well, which will make matters even worse for him. Config ends up getting that kill. Complexity will muscle their way onto this A-bomb site. Shot from Tassus. He comes kind of close, but Obo gets him through the smoke. There's down. How has he not got that kill? He got the first damage. Finally, Config falls, but the bomb's already been planted, and Heroic's chances remain slim at best.
Oh, they definitely remain slim. And while Stown trying his way through his rush with a headshot, Obo taking down Borup. 8-4. Complexity is what I was talking about. The fact that they are now in a position where they can make this half look far more respectable. 3 rounds left in the half. A buy coming in from Heroic. They're going to invest everything into this. And if Complexity manage to pick this up, which they should be favorites to do in terms of having the head-to-head buy, Complexity certainly have the better one. So we go into this next round. If they win this, Alex, this is where Complexity are probably looking at a likely 7 rounds. And considering it was 8-1 at one point, Alex, that's very impressive.
That would be a nice turnaround for Complexity. I think this slow start, comes down to, at times, Complexity having, you could argue, maybe even a bit too much freedom for the individuals. And you can understand why BlameF would give these players freedom to make plays and to do things through mid. it just feels like there's a lot of individual plays that end up coming through for Complexity sometimes. And sometimes that goes great for them. Sometimes that can be a struggle. So I think BlameF's got that really difficult balancing act of not wanting to kind of keep any players on the leash too much, but also not wanting to give away that freedom in every round and then starting to let it spiral out of control like we've kind of seen in this game. And this time it is a more set strat for Complexity. 2 smokes deployed into A, but the bomb is back over towards B. So this is a fake being sold on the A site, and Nico's burning. Oh, he's down to 30 health there. This rotate is coming in as well. The B site is really vulnerable right now. Stown has got a tough task on his hands.
Has been excellent so far, though, in this B bomb site when called upon. Remember back a couple of moments ago with the Deagle. Rifles have been stored as well, but now he holds again. They come in towards him, holding from jail. He will get 1 kill onto Rush. The bomb on the floor. He's going to look for a little bit more. Oboe, the second victim to the M4, and they keep coming. That is incredible from Stown that he finds 3 kills from the 1 position. Complexity just give him 1-by-1 fights, and Heroic will be given a 9th round. If you're Stown there, you're loving life. They just come in 1-by-1. The first is through, easy kill. The second comes in a few seconds later. You just get this 3rd kill on the poison. Expected a flashbang, but it didn't come. You just peek out and get another frag before finally going down. Complexity. I mean, it could have been better at that entry to the B bomb site.
Yeah, that is poorly executed there for Complexity, because the call was spot on. Stown was completely alone. 4 of the Heroic players were focused on the A site. They were so far away on the rotate. So if you just get a 1-for-1 trade, even if you give up 2 players and get the trade, that might be enough as long as it's quickly going to get you onto the site. But they take way too much time to actually get that kill. And oh wow, Poison gets that shot while blind. Finally, his AWP coming into play. He's had a really quiet game so far here on Mirage. He wins that fight against Cadian, brings it back into a 4v4. And this time, BlameF is all the way through. Oh, what? He loses the fight. Borup somehow gets away with it. Oboe able to win 1 back, but the trades are keeping on coming. And Testes is going to be caught in the open. Poison with another one. And it's all gone wrong for Heroic. Such a weird round, Dinko. I don't really know what just happened, but I do know that Complexity got the win.
That's all that matters for Complexity as well. Coming into it, they needed to reply after what was a horrible round on the B bomb site, but they do show up in the chaos. It's Complexity that come out on top. And Heroic, look at their buy, Alex, got into the last round of the first half.
Not ideal is the way I'm going to put it, and that's putting it nicely.
Very nicely. Yeah, it's pretty rough here for Heroic. I mean, it's still a good half. 9 rounds, they'll be happy with that, especially considering their first map performance. This is a big turnaround. But Complexity, if they get 6 rounds, well, they'll be very happy with that as well, considering they were 8-1 down. So, in a good comeback, Heroic could still walk away with this. 10-5 at the half, which would be brilliant for them. But Oboe, to try and start things off. The MP9, it's been spotted, the shoulder peeking around, but Borup somehow stays alive, peeks into the open, and takes down Oboe. That is so unfortunate for the young American. He had absolutely no idea how to deal with that one. And Borup just not taking any damage either. He's just standing there being protected. And he'll upgrade that MP9 swiftly to an AK-47. And Cadian boosting up at the top. Oh, BlameF, he's caught in the open. Awkward aim, Joel, for both of the players there, but it's BlameF that walks away on top, and Rush now finding success from Powers, burning out the Underwood player. Borup with the AK he managed to find at the start of the round off the corpse of Oboe, works out taking down Config. And now it's a 3 versus 3. 30 seconds left. Rush still in Palace, this time waiting for his teammates, and now he swings on by, but it's Testis with the body shots that delivers death. And now it's 20 seconds left. BlameF and Poison in a 2 versus 3. With 15 seconds, Testis peeks into the open. It's BlameF with a lot of damage taken. And now it's just Testis stuck in the site. He's been spotted. Poison with a good kill, but there's 8 seconds, and that's the bomb. Borup has dropped the bomb in the open. You have to immediately start planting if you're BlameF. And Borup knows there's no time. What a way to win it. 10-5. Borup steps up in the last round. The MVP. Heroic will get 10 rounds. We'll see if they can continue and send us to a 3rd map in the second half.
Me and my crew, yeah, we're lawless. Got the man, them thinking that we're flawless. Yeah, mama told you that I'm gorgeous. Got a million tricks, can't deport us. I'm a flame in the star, call me gassed. Back foot slide, I'm slick to the mass. Calling to the tribe, it's a revolution past. Present in time, no, we can't be masked. So you better rise up, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up, so we better rise up, size up, shout out loud. Down before the time's up. 789, that's procedure. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom. 789, that's procedure. If we break bread, then I'm coming like a eeler. If you want beef, then I tom beater. If you want beef, then I tom. My crew, yeah, we're lawless. Got the man, them thinking that we're flawless. Yeah, mama told you that I'm gorgeous. Got a million tricks, can't deport us. I'm a flame in the star, call me gassed. Back foot sliding.
A huge turnaround for Heroic. They'll be happy enough with a 10-5 half. Heroic finding themselves 5 into the lead, Alex. It was a big step up considering their initial performance in the first map. Coming into this second half, they're going to be hoping they can send us to a third. We have got a couple of issues we're trying to get sorted as we head into the second half, but it shouldn't be too much longer. But that gives Heroic even more time to figure out what they want to do into this T-pistol.
Yeah, pretty chaotic first half, especially towards the end there. But you know what they say, Dinko? You know what Littlefinger said in Game of Thrones? Chaos is a ladder. And Heroic have climbed that to this 10-5 lead. Now I'm just thinking back to Game of Thrones and how sad that ending was. But let's swiftly move on.
Well off a cliff, didn't it?
It really did.
Could go off a cliff here for Heroic if they're not careful. Complexity are a team that can certainly come back in these scenarios. We have seen a big performance from Complexity across the board in terms of every single player showing up. I think Config has been a player to watch throughout the first map. I mean, he's been pretty good on the second one as well, but not quite at the same level. And I think that's fair to say for the vast majority of the Complexity roster. They have looked quiet. BlameF shows up because Mirage is his playground, but other than that, it has been a pretty quiet performance in comparison to Vertigo from Complexity.
You know what, Dinko? They say it's a technical pause, but I reckon it's the crowd that have made this pause happen because they want some more airtime. Look at them.
They do.
They're loving it.
Hungry for it.
They're celebrating the technical pause.
I'm glad we've got this. It's kind of cool being in the arena as well. And while we get things going again into the second half, just a few more seconds as we re-enter the game. And it's got Heroic on 10, 5 rounds for Complexity, struggling by the wayside. We'll see if the Juggernaut can come back on the CT side. This is where we've seen Complexity do their best work. So this is a scary time. If Heroic don't win this pistol, you may potentially be letting Complexity back into things. Heroic start their charge. They're going quickly towards the B-bomb site. Rush is going to arrive. This nade might do a lot of damage. It could take them down pretty low as they dive on out at Config with the first kill. So much damage being done to Heroic. They're losing players, but they finally get one back, but it's BlameF, the clothesline, doming through, and it's just Gideon left alone, and he's picked off as well. BlameF with a triple kill into the pistol round, and Complexity with a 6th.
Yeah, fairly big risk for Complexity to stack quite so heavily on the B site there, but my god, does it pay off for them. The early nade damage helps. You see quite a few assists coming through, and then Blame F just clinches it at the end there with a nice 3K. And that pistol round puts Complexity back on track in this game. Hopefully for their sake, their CT side can be a bit stronger. Remember though, they won that first pistol round over on their T side, and then they lost this second round. So let's not get ahead of ourselves, Dinko. Let's make sure that Complexity can close this one out, because we've seen Heroic pull off this exact round back in that first half. And Rush needs to be a little bit careful here on this B-bomb site. Nade put down, does do some damage, but the flash comes in. And Rush with MP9 has got to be careful. Spray successful onto the first man. Nico's there for the trade, and in comes the push towards B. Nico with another one. Complexity starting to fall here, starting to crumble on the B site. I think they're going to have to concede this bomb plant.
Well, the bomb going down, Stown securing it. Now Heroic. Could they potentially win on the Deagles? This has been a crazy matchup so far for these second round force buys. And Heroic currently stand with a man advantage still, thanks to Nico, who has not stopped. He's still rattling shots, and there we go from Nico. Another one added to the tally. That's 3. We've had so many moments with the Deagles, Alex. We started with Config's ace. We had Stown stepping up here in the first half. And now Nico delivering death with his Deagle. Complexity win both pistol rounds, and they're down to 6 rounds. That's so terrible for Complexity. They're in such a negative downturn right now in comparison to their Vertigo performance. This is kind of unbelievable how this has happened. What a performance from Nico, though. Stepping up. The Deagle just dishing out damage everywhere.
Yeah, got to give props to Nico in general, coming back onto this Heroic roster, because he went without playing a competitive game on HLTV for 6 months. And he came right back into this team, and he slotted in instantly and just looked solid. He came back a few months ago now, and he's turned into one of the stars of this squad. And now Heroic have put themselves in great shape here. Tech with 1 kill, but here come the deeds of Complexity. Config and Oboe both landing kills. And who knows where this game is going to go, Dinko. I can't predict anything right now.
Well, peeking out towards top middle, it's Stown with the kill on the poison. Oboe picking up 1 as Stown replies to the AK-47. It's Rush with the Deagle falling as well. They just go 1 by 1 and get absolutely torn apart by Stown. Picking up the 3K into round number 18. It's just Config left alone. He's got 1 versus 2 in total now with a scout. No kit, fails the jump. This is definitely looking like a locked-in Heroic round. But then again, this Config, and he's now found himself a rifle. M4A1S. They go on to the other side of the map, and Config has got to find himself over towards B very quickly. He has no kit, no utility, and he's got 46 HP.
Oh, he's just got the right read, but I don't know if he gets here in time. The Molotov lands, but Config's going to go through it. He's going to go through the flames and go for the first fight. Config almost gets the chance for the second, but Nico keeps it going for his team, keeps his composure, and makes sure that Heroic win that round. And now, Heroic should have put themselves in great shape to close out Mirage. 12-6 lead, likely going to be turned into a 13-6 here because Complexity can't really buy a whole lot of anything. You can see Config's got 1 CZ, and that is it. So Heroic with a really impressive turnaround, considering how that first map went, considering that they were getting beaten up on that first map. This has been great stuff from Heroic, and who knows, this could end up being a competitive semi-final. I would love for that last map of Overpass to come through as well, because that's a map that the Des pointed out. Both these teams don't play often, so that would be a real test to see where both of these teams are at on that map.
It would be a fun map to enter to close things out. I'm glad that Heroic have been able to step up. Vertigo, for some reason, just look completely off for them. But here in Mirage, this has been a different story. And we talked about Complexity picking Mirage. We've said it has been a comfortable battleground for them throughout the entirety of this roster's history, right? But so far in this tournament, they've picked it and they've lost it. And the times that they've won it, they still haven't looked fantastic, right? So it's kind of a weird scenario for Complexity where feel like they're very comfortable on this map. They think they're comfortable, but so far the results haven't really been proving that as of late. A little bit of work needs to be done on the map. But Heroic, they're going to be very happy right now. Bomb plant coming through. Up against the full eco, just the 1 CZ investment, but the rest just USPs. They go for the stack, and Heroic go to the other side of the map. So 13-6. Heroic are 3 away from victory.
I've got a question for you, Dinko. We just saw the bomb code come up on the screen. Do you know the bomb code off by heart?
I do not.
Oh, what a noob.
I did, but then I kind of forgot it.
It's 7355608. Say it with me, everyone at home.
Oh,
I
God.
know all the Twitch chat knows it.
It's not happening, is it? I can hear them, Alex.
You can hear them. You've got Twitch chat in your head. Oh my God, I feel sorry for you. What sort of
exactly. No one wants that. That's the worst thing that can happen to a person.
I'm just imagining if you actually had Twitch chat following you around throughout your life. Like you ask a girl out and everyone, you just start hearing pockets in your head or something. Oh God.
Yeah, well, the thoughts of Alex Hawkins, everyone. And while 13-6, Heroic 3 away from victory as Complexity invest into this one. It's not the best of buys. They have got a scout in the hands of Poison, a FAMAS on Rush and Oboe, the 2 premium rifles in the hands of BlairF and Config. But for the most part, it's still a scrappy buy. And this is one Complexity almost have to win if they want to have a comeback here on Mirage.
Cadian leading the charge through underpass. Down not too far behind him. Cadian doing a fair bit of damage there. And as you rightly pointed out, not perfect weaponry for Complexity. So Poison's only got the scout in that position rather than the AWP, which is obviously the sniper he'd rather have. There are still some advantages of the scout, though. You've got that fast movement to go in and out of the angles to try and duck and dive and dodge. Down searching for something on the B side of the map. It's been Down and Cadian just kind of sticking together as a buddy system right now at the start of this round, just seeing if they can find any early picks. But now that that's not happened for them, the rest of the players going out to A, and Nico gets a very quick kill.
Oh, a nice kill from Nico. Oboe going down, and now, well, we've got ourselves a 5 versus 3. Complexity certainly not favored in this round with 40 seconds left. Heroic just walking onto the A bomb site. Bomb. It's in sandwich right now. 35 seconds. Eventually, they're going to have to cross to the bomb site. BlairF and Config. They may be down in this scenario, but don't count them out. They certainly still can pull this back. And while Rush is going to try and help from short, a good couple of kills now coming across the board, and suddenly it's back into a 2 versus 2. Heroic perhaps get a little bit complacent, giving up a few of these fights, and now eventually commit to the bomb plant. It's Config into the clutch. He can win this 1 versus 2. He dives forward, but the spray is not good. He cannot win that aim duel. He needed to pick it up almost immediately, and it's going to be a 14th round for Heroic. Now just 2 rounds from victory. Complexity, they don't have the money coming into this one either. This is looking closer and closer to being done.
Again, sharp stuff from Nico, who has been more of a supportive element of some of his previous teams. I think he's been freed up a lot here on Heroic. He's been a valuable part of this squad in terms of fragging, in terms of taking some more of those star roles. And we gave Complexity a lot of credit for their fragging distribution on the first map. We've got to give the same props to Heroic in this one. Nico's at the top with 17 kills alongside Stown, and then Cadian at the bottom has 12. So they're all very close together. Rush with a nice kill on the dig, but that's all he's going to get. Cadian rushes him down. And even though Poison's got the scout near the B site, he's not really in a position where he's going to get too many chances to use it.
Oh, Config trying to fight middle. He gets absolutely wrecked by Testis. Oboe able to assist in terms of getting the Vengeance killed, but now goes to the 3 versus 3. Nice shot from Poison. I love when Poison's on the scout. He pulls off some incredible things with this every now and then. And Stown and Nico into the 2 versus 3 now that Poison is given the advantage on over to Complexity. They start to walk back in, but Stown, he's not moved. Not budged at all. He's got a good spot for this. The first kill, the second as well. It's actually Nico that's taking that short player down. And now BlairF into the 1 versus 1. He runs forward, but no kit. He has no kit, so winning this round becomes impossible now that the time is ticked. He's just looking for this kill, and he's not going to budge here. Nico not giving him even the satisfaction of the final frag, and he'll go down to the bomb as well. 15-6. It's Heroic just 1 away from taking us to the 3rd map. Complexity have looked down and out here on Mirage. And heading into Overpass, I think that's going to be, like you said, a true test for these two teams. And it's anybody's matchup now.
Yeah, you look at the stats on HLTV for Overpass, you basically have no maps played for both teams. You have that one map played by Complexity on Overpass against Fours earlier in this tournament. It used to be their permaban, but looks like Complexity are going to start to play it. And then Heroic also have it as their permaban, but recently have started not banning it in some of their series. They haven't played it yet, though. And that will be the true test. That will be really fun to watch for. Also, I don't know what it is about this map, but for right now at least, it seems just all the Danes are playing well, and then the couple of other players for Complexity are having a bit of a tougher time, because BlameF is actually top fragging the server right now with 19 kills. Config's got 15 as well, but some of the other stars haven't quite been as on point for Complexity. Let's see if they can get this round over the line. Nico holding patiently. Spray successful, but BlameF was always going to be able to get the trade, and Stound's been caught at the ramp. Config's secondary ult comes into play. Some solid trades early from Complexity.
Oh, that's just unbelievable, BlameF. Yeah, he's having a great time. This is why I always talk about it. BlameF being the beast on Mirage. It's his playground, the map he's most comfortable on as just a solo player. You can see he sets himself up for a whole lot of success. He is the in-game leader of the team. We'll see him get aggressive. We'll see him have his moments across the map. The issue here for Complexity is, if it's just BlameF, then you got a bit of an issue. You need everybody else showing up. Poison's on 9 kills, yet to break double figures. The only player on the server below 10 kills. And he's your AWPer. You need him to deliver more than what he's doing right now.
Boost up for Config. Could be well timed. It's a very tight angle he has to work with. These are the sorts of shots that I could never land, Dinko, but pros are slightly better than me. Cadian waiting on the other side as well. Here comes the aggression. Cadian misses the first time, but he gets it second time of asking, and in comes the push to B. Rush has to hold this down as the anchor. First kill is good. Looks for more, but he's not going to find it. Tesses takes the trade, and Poison's been caught out in the open. This is looking like Heroic will be taking it over the line. A 4v2 is all they need to close this out.
Yeah, it looks like we are almost confirmed Overpass. The 2 versus 4 retake attempt for Complexity. It'll be Obo and BlameF trying to make the impossible happen. And well, BlameF might just do it. He's got 2, but look at the flank. Nico looks to try and spoil their party. It's just Obo. He has the info of where Nico is, but now he searches for the other. He knows he's on the van now, but the time, the crossfire, it's Heroic to send us to map number 3. It's a huge step up for them coming into the second map after being absolutely obliterated on map number 1. Vertigo was not a good showing from Heroic, but they show up here on the second map. A dominant win over Complexity. Now it's the Overpass.
Yeah, huge credit to Heroic for the bounce back. I think a lot of lesser teams would probably crumble under the pressure of that second map, but they get the good start. They start to get rolling, and Overpass for me, it is just going to come down to, I think, who's more prepared for it, because they both ended up floating it through the veto. I'm really excited to see how that goes down, because it's such a big question mark for both these guys.
Exactly. There's only one way to find out what we'll be seeing on Overpass, and that's to go there. That's exactly where we're going after this break. We'll be right back with the desk to break this one down.
We thought it might have been all over, but on Mirage, Heroic proved they were not to be counted out. 16-7 as they take Complexity's map pick, and the Danish side step up to the plate when it matters most. This series is going the full distance, and it will be concluding with Overpass very shortly. But before that, myself, Potter, and Blair have got to break it all down on Mirage. And Christine, it was a total turnaround for Heroic.
Man, yeah, and what a turnaround, and what a time for the stars, the young stars on Heroic side of things to show up and showcase such, man, Staven is an anchor. He's an anchor. He showcased his AWP skills with that over towards B the other day, and today it's all about that rifle work. He held down the fort, and they showcased such a strong defense.
And this is something that we were saying, like during the game, you can just look at the kill, the distribution of kills rather, over on that heroic side. It's a little bit more now, but during the game, Blair, it was just so even, man. They were all stepping up exactly when they needed to.
What surprises me looking at the kill spread is the difference in the total number of kills between Heroic and Complexity. Complexity having a total of 73 kills, 84 for Heroic. It's just a difference of 11. You look at a scoreline, 16-7. That is not close at all, right? And what's wild is how you rarely win both the pistol rounds and yet wind up losing in that fashion. And you got to give kudos to Heroic. Like Potter said, Starvin on the B bomb set being an absolute beast, but also small little mistakes being made by Complexity. I felt like there was a lack of sync, I feel like, in the way they were approaching. For example, the B bombs with Starvin got like a 3K or 4K with the Deagle. Like the timing, no flashbangs to flash him out, just peeking in one by one. They're giving too many opportunities, but I still can't take anything away from Heroic. I felt like I could hear the bells tolling for them. Just took those bells and just tossed it away. Map number 3 coming up.
Exactly, indeed. And I do want to start off by touching on a Heroic CT side, because I feel like there were so many moments where all the players were just really stepping up. For you, Christine, who was a star from that first half?
It's gotta be Borup. I mean, I had to highlight Borup. So how the hell did he get that pick with that MP9 long distance in lower B? After he gets that, he picks up the AK in the last round of the half, and he's able to follow up and complete with the 4K. So this is the round right here. That's gross, first of all. You're not supposed to be able to do that. But I mean, that was just Borup. He stepped up right when Heroic needed him most. And going into this overpass, man, I have high hopes. Like I said, Testis, he was on Copenhagen Flames prior to joining Heroic, and we saw him at Flashpoint, and the map that he was shining the most on was this overpass. He was so confident on it, especially on the T side of things. The space that he was taking over towards that bathroom side, he has no fear. He's got that young blood in him, so it enables him to make those kinds of plays. So I had no doubt. I never doubted these Heroic guys. We're going onto this map 3. It's overpass. I'm so hyped to see both of these teams performing on it.
I love that dedication to your predictions, Christine. But you know what? It's for good reason, right? We're going into Overpass. As Hawker mentioned, it is a little bit of a question mark for both of these teams. Where are you seeing this one landing, Blair?
I don't know. Heroic haven't played this map since February, where they played, I think it was like at the Ice Challenge back in London on the 1st of February, if I'm not mistaken, which has been more than 6 months ago. They haven't played it at all. And this game of chicken now, well, it's time to show if they can really hang with Complexity, who have 100% win rate, albeit they've only played it one time. The one time they didn't ban it, Forest picked it, and Complexity were looking very, very confident. Now, looking at Heroic, they're looking great on Mirage, but we don't have data to work with. But the data we do have is Complexity looking very comfortable on it against Forest, a team who do like playing Overpass. So I gotta say, I still see Complexity taking this, and it should be a closer affair, but I still see them taking it.
I think that's what is going to make this one so excited. We really don't know where it's going to be landing with this one, and we're going the full distance. It's going to a third, and Overpass is up after this.